Hi. So today we're going to go into another module, Module 7, Lesson 4, Lesson 3, sorry. We're going to be learning about point of view, first person, second person, and third person point of view. What are you going to need? You'll be needing your language arts, grade 4, modules 7 through 9. And please turn to page 1111. That's where you're going to find this graphic organizer on point of view. It's also called an anchor chart. All right, I am now going to go to Thursday. I am going to 7.03, compare and contrast points of view, and then the best of both worlds. We will read that story. After we're done with this, you're going to be doing an ed puzzle on point of view that has 12 questions. All right, let's get started. I'm going to open this up. You can open up your book, page 11. All right, we're going to go to page 2 of the module. Now, you don't have to go to this page because, ta-da! That page is the same as this page. So you can just follow along as I review this with you. Authors choose the point of view of their stories very carefully. It's a very special thing to see through the eye of a character you read about in a book. When you read a story told from the perspective of the main character, you understand events as that special character has experienced them. So now let's talk about the different points of view. The first box is first person point of view. Please look at that. If a text is written in the first person point of view, the narrator is the character within the story, telling his or her own experiences and thoughts. So if you're writing your story, you're the narrator, you're telling your thoughts. You're going to use words like I, me, we, the 3 of us, the 2 of us, the 5 of us, our, my, and ours. So for example, the sentence says, I told my friends I wanted to play soccer. That's first person point of view. The next one, I'm going to move my face down so you can just look at the screen. You can look at the screen or just listen. The next one is the second person point of view. If a text is written in the second person, the author is talking directly to the reader. This is not a usual text whatsoever. This is more like if you have a cookbook or you're giving directions and you're given written directions. So that's where you're going to use words like you, your, yours. You write excellent stories. So that's me telling you. So I'm telling you in a second person point of view. Or I might say, okay, we're going to make chocolate chip cookies. You need to go get some flour and put 1 cup of flour in. You need to pour the chocolate chips in. You need to crack the eggs. That's second person point of view. So it's not a common point of view that's used when you're reading stories. Third person point of view, very common. If a text is written in the third person point of view, the narrator is someone outside of the story. You're using words like he, him, she, her, it, them, they, its, hers, his, Pedro, Athena, or any other character, Regina in our story, Indian No More. So Pedro told his friends he wanted to play soccer is an example. All right, the next thing we're going to do is after you do your ed puzzle, you are going to be reading the next story on page 12, which is The Pancake Thief. But before we do that, I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of page 2 on Florida Virtual, and we're going to watch this point of view video.
When you read, the point of view matters. It's the perspective from which a story is told. Take this story, for example. Matthew felt his pulse quicken. His palms were sweaty. In fact, he was sweaty all over. Riley was walking towards him from across the hallway. He had liked her since the 3rd grade. This is written from the third person point of view. That means the person telling the story, the narrator, isn't the main character. The narrator is telling the story from an outside perspective. Words like his or he or the name of the character tells us this is written in third person. If this were written from the first person point of view, It might read something like this. Oh my gosh, what is my hair doing? Why are my hands all wet? Am I sweating? Okay, calm down. I am okay. I've talked to girls before, but not this girl, not Riley. While this may be the same character and same story, it's written from a first person point of view. Here, the narrator is the character. You can tell because the author uses the words I and my. Even though it's the same story, what we learn about the setting, events, characters, and how they feel can be different. For example, in both versions, the main character is sweaty and feeling nervous because of a girl named Riley. But only in the third person point of view do we learn that the character's name is Matthew, that the setting is a hallway, and that he's liked Riley since the third grade. In first person point of view, we understand more of how Matthew feels in the moment. He's nervous about how he looks. He's trying to calm down, and not just about talking to girls, just talking to this girl. In this story, the third person point of view gives us more information about events and setting. In the first person point of view, we learn more about how the character is feeling. So, whether it's first person, third person, or some other perspective, sometimes a different point of view can tell the same story in a new way.
Okay, so just a reminder, and you might want to write this underneath. If it is the first person point of view, it is telling, it's sharing feelings of the character. Third person point of view is going to give a lot more information. It's going to give information about maybe events and the setting. You may not get that in the first person point of view because it's just the feelings of the character. So there's benefits and there's pros and cons to each point of view and how it's being written. All right, we are not going to read this yet, so go ahead now and go into Edpuzzle and try out what you've learned about first, second, and third person point of view.